Let's see. Should be connecting. We are live on YouTube, it says. All right. Folks, welcome to another Mañana no Mas morning check-in. This is one of those days where I stress a morning check-in, and in reality, we are well past the morning. It's been a super, super active. I don't want to say busy. I think too many people say the word busy, right? And we can overcome busy through proper planning in most cases. But man, I've been super active, really working, getting things nailed down. Things I want to stress to you first of all is, I start out the day with this and with this, right? So the 5 minute journal and a leader's heart, and it just seems to put me in the right space. And I just did all these articles last week in email about the benefits of journaling, right? And so I wanted to really put that out there. This week I went along with the theme of raising our kiddos, right? And so today's mass email went out, and it was about teaching our children that being imperfect is okay, right? How to move forward and grow through imperfection rather than holding back, waiting to be perfect. Because here's the deal. The whole time they're infants growing up, we just say no, 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 no. And they get conditioned to, I'm not even going to try, right? And in some cases, we let them get away with that. We raise them that way. And so it really jumped off the page to me to kind of take a moment and say, hey, let kids know it's okay to not be perfect. Take a swing and a miss because, hey, at least you swung, right? I say that a lot when people are out, when I see some a heavy neighbor out running, and they'll be like, oh, I know, I just look like some fat slob. I'm like, dude, you are going better than the dude sitting on the sofa, right? Stop beating yourself up. Congratulations to you. Kudos to you for doing something. And both of the articles I wrote so far this week, they remind me of two books by John C. Maxwell. And of course, I'm a Maxwell fan, right? One was Failing Forward, right? So Failing Forward is one of the links in the article that you can click on to buy the book if you want it. And then the other link I put in there was Sometimes You Win, Sometimes You Learn by John C. Maxwell. Both of those books are really, really good. So I've been making these daily emails, to get through the weekdays. And so far, I've hit every working weekday of the new year. So I don't know how much longer I can endure it and keep it up, but I am enjoying it, and I've gotten some really good feedback on it. So I think I'm going to try that as much as I can. Now, today, I hesitate. I really do. This is one of those where, I'm putting the cart before the horse, and I got a habit of doing that, and I do it, and I do it, and I do it. But in light of what's been going on over the last week to 10 days, I really feel like I need to say something. I really feel like, dang it. So as you know, you've been following this for a while. If you haven't, you can go back and look at the video diaries. I mean, I didn't make this up out of the clear blue last week. I've been working on it for months. I was working on a new web project. I kept saying, I'm working on a new web project. We're doing a proof of concept. We're doing a soft launch. We're going to do a hard launch, hopefully in February. And, provided everything else works out. And here's the deal. I'm getting to the point now, especially with what's been going on in the last week or so, where I'm really tempted to just do like a pre-sale, right? I'm really tempted to just say, hey, I'm going to do a pre-sale on this and see how many people are actually interested, get some funding in, and, maybe push the thing out quicker than I thought I could. The project that I've been working on, and it's something that jumped off to me, probably a year, maybe a little more than a year ago. I was like, so many people are trying to be active on so many different platforms, right? And this big thing about doing online challenges. For instance, I'm in a Grant Cardone challenge right now. I just did a Russell Brunson challenge. In fact, today, FedEx dropped off, what is this? The Secrets, right? Secrets.com book from the Russell Brunson challenge. So I'm not just making this stuff up. I mean, I actually participate in this stuff, right? So I did the challenge. I bought the book. Grant Cardone does a challenge, and he's got something like 90,000 people wrapped up in this challenge somehow, some way. And so I look at these numbers and I look at it and I go, they're hosting this stuff. Now, Russell Brunson, he does his challenges like in his own platform, which is totally cool. I really respect him for that. A lot of other people are doing their challenges in Facebook, right? It's actually a phrase, doing a Facebook challenge. Well, the problem with doing a Facebook challenge is, how are you really growing your future marketing list? You're not. You're plowing people into a Facebook group, and then you're dependent upon Facebook to give you the ability to, communicate and interact with all of these people. Uh, I always, I want to say this in a way that I really want to say this in a way that makes sense. So you've seen me posting for years now, right? People say, "Oh, I want to use Kajabi, or I want to use Udemy, or I want to use what? Hey, what learning page do you guys use, or what ClickFunnels source do you use?" And I typically respond with something like, "Hey, I prefer to use a tool that I can attach to my existing website. I like to own my product. I like to own my content. I like to be in control of my content." And for me personally, that's forced me to become a learning and membership website expert. Okay. And that's just because I'm a little weird that way. I don't like I know a lot of people like MailChimp. A lot of people like gosh, throw some more at me, right? But all those services that run emails externally. And in my mind, I would use Data Mail, or I would use what was it, Pomo Mail, I think was one that I used for a long time. And then recently, and I say recently, over the last 2-3 years, I've gotten interested in Groundhog. Groundhog is a great program. I think I've been on Groundhog for about a year now, to be honest with you. I think it's been about a year. I love the product. And it goes into the back end of my WordPress website, and it manages everything through my WordPress website. My learning courses go through my WordPress website. My funnels for sales and for marketing and stuff like that go through my WordPress website. My newsletters that you may get from in your email box come through my WordPress website. And everything I do, the e-commerce, everything is in my own site. And I've been saying this for years. I've been like, you have to grow your email list. You can't depend on these other sites. You can't depend on Facebook. You can't depend on LinkedIn. You can't depend on Instagram, because the rules of engagement change. Now, when I was saying all that, I didn't realize the rules of engagement would change so quickly. And I didn't realize how quickly and for who those rules of engagement would change. When I see now, regardless of how you feel, left, right, up, down, center, whatever, here's something to really consider. Parler got knocked off the internet. Think about that, right? Tens of thousands of people join up a social network to voice their opinions and get together and communicate. And, you take a look and you go, well, Google shut them out of the Play Store. Whatever. You can go direct and download it, right? Apple shuts them out of their store. But so what? You can download it direct and go there anyway. If you really want to get there, you can get there. Well, then AWS shuts them down and they're gone, right? Like, boom, they're not being hosted anymore. So then they start looking for hosts, and nobody would take their URL. They finally found a company that would take it. They've got that registered. I saw that press release today that they were able to get their URL re-registered, right? And so now they've got to fight to try and get their data and their backups back into place. God knows how many posts or pieces of information get lost between being backed up and not backed up and reloaded, right? And so I think about that. I'm like, what a disaster. How many millions of dollars have been poured into this project to grow this thing? And because of what's happened, with President Trump and people on the left and people on the right and people that are, doing this, all these other people are paying the price for it. Now, a lot of people are on the internet cheering about this. They're saying, "Oh yeah, we need to kick Trump off the internet. We need to this. You know what? Those right wingers, they conspiracy theorists, they all need to be knocked off the internet." Well, that sounds like a reason to jump for joy, right? Because the stuff that you don't like is getting pulled down. But what happens when they get to you? What happens when they get to you and maybe you've got an opinion on, whether you want to wear a black mask, a red mask, or a blue mask, and your opinion doesn't match theirs, and all of a sudden they take you down. What happens when, you're like, "But I love steak," and they're like, "You can't post on the internet about killing animals, right? You have to be vegetarian now." Think about these types of things and you say, "Well, Kurt's being crazy." Maybe I'm being crazy, but maybe I'm not, right? Having your own platform is huge. So I thought about this. Like I said, over a year ago, I thought, okay, I work so hard to take all of my stuff into my own platform. Why would I then go into LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, and try to run a challenge through one of their networks? See, that was a conflict for me. I was like, I want to do a Facebook challenge and I want to inspire people in leadership and membership building and things like that. But I got to be real, right? I'm advising people to own their content. And so it's real hard for me to say, okay, own your content, but go promote yourself over here and have your own little thing. So the project that I've been working on and the project that's going to be announced and possibly available for pre-sale is a way to do online challenges in your own platform, right? And then I have three levels of this platform. I have, hey, you just want to run a challenge. You want to subscribe, get your own challenge site, so it's your site within my platform. You get your own site within my platform, and you run your own challenge, and you just run it, right? You do that. That's a certain price, and then for a little bit more, you can also go in and run a challenge, but you get some extra bells and whistles. You can manage your email list really well. Um, God, there's like a social part of letting people communicate with one another within that website, and there's different tools like that, right? And then I have a premium example of running these challenges. Now, this premium example of running a challenge is not cheap. It's not meant to be cheap because it kicks butt. If you go in there, not only can you set up the challenge and run the challenge, right? But we have a done for you service that'll take your branding and your images and your content and build your challenge for you, right? So you subscribe to that, you go in, you get your site to run your online challenge, and it's in there. But beyond running the challenge, you can do one-on-one coaching. It's set up for e-commerce. You can charge people for it. You can sell product through it. You can there's social aspects, there's groups. So you could have, say you have 1,000 people in there. Those 1,000 people can friend each other within your challenge site and have private conversations and messaging between each other. And they can have groups where 10, 15, 50, 100 of them can get together and discuss a topic, or have their own little group. Say, I can't help but think of like Grant Cardone's last challenge, right? He's running that in Facebook, and he's got people all over the world participating. And I'm like, man, you could have a North American group, an Italian group, a group from the UK, a group from Greenland, a group from Australia. You get what I'm saying? He could split that up, and then he could really optimize and get together with you got to keep people motivated and keep them integrated within your challenge to get people to finish the challenge and then get to what it is you want them to do. You're helping them succeed in a certain area, but their success in that area generally creates a sale or an expansion of your network, right? So that's why people run these challenges. And I think that there's a certain amount of it that gets lost in translation when you plug it into Facebook and you just let it go. Now, here's a real world story. A friend of mine had a Facebook challenge going. He got suspended from Facebook. I think it was for 3 days. And here he is running a successful challenge, hundreds of people in there. All of a sudden, he can't access his own challenge. If you had your own challenge site and you were running your challenge within your own challenge site, you couldn't get booted out, could you? Because it's yours. You see where I'm going with that? That's why I felt so compelled today to start talking about this and getting it ready for pre-sale and seeing how many people are interested in a product like this being online. So I built this thing. It works. Like I said, proof of concept, soft launch, hard launch is coming. And I was thinking about, opening this thing up for pre-sale, and really just, I want to put it out there. There's so many things that happen with a challenge. Like, let's say you've got a great challenge and you're running it in Facebook, right? And you've got 5,000 people that follow you over in LinkedIn. Well, if you use both, if you Facebook and LinkedIn, you know full well it's very difficult to get someone to go from LinkedIn to go participate in something on Facebook, right? There's some kind of like classist thing going on there, right? It's like the difference between Gilligan and Mr. Howell. And I can't quite put my finger on it because content should be content, right? But now look at this. If you were to spread that net, like you were just doing Facebook challenges, well, now you can say, I've got my own challenge, here it is, and you post it and you promote it on Facebook, right? And you spread that net for Facebook. So you get those people and you bring them over to your own property for your challenge. Then you can also spread that net to your LinkedIn group, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. You can bring all of that, spread that net really, really wide, and bring them into your own challenge site. And then to keep that whole, integration thing going with the social channels, You can take, the top 3, top 4, top 10 posts of the day, of the week, and you can share those back into those social channels to keep that interaction going, right? So you're not losing the interaction of the social channels, but you're gaining the control and the concept of putting everything together in one place. Everyone that signs up for your challenge is part of your database. It becomes an authorized, email list moving forward, and you grow that in that way. The other thing about a Facebook challenge is you have people that are participating in the challenge and they're adding to your Facebook page, but it's like in a first in, first out format, right? So you're getting all this stuff added, but if it's a multiple day challenge, people get out of sync with what day it is, especially with the different time zones around the world. And so people will lose track of what they're actually looking at inside the Facebook page or what part of the challenge. And the challengers themselves get confused over what they were supposed to do or where they're at within the challenge. The way that I put this new challenge site together, each step of the challenge is separated. And if you choose, you can even lock down each step of the challenge based on a specific release date or duration from the last step that you released, right? They call that a drip, right? So let's say I'm going to start a challenge on the 15th. So January 15th, people get in, they take step 1 of the challenge. And then the ambitious people go, I'm going to click on step 2. Well, they click on step 2 and it just says, this step is locked until January 17th. Well, then January 17th, that opens up. They can do step 2. They go to step 3. It says this is locked till January 19th, right? Or whatever date or whatever time span you pick. You can pick 12 hours, 24 hours, 3 days, a week. You can go by date, but you're in control. And that's what I'm trying to get to. You're in control of the content, how the content's released, and where the submissions land for the people that are responding to the challenges. Folks, I'm super excited about this. I don't know if you can pick up on this or not, but I've been talking about it for months and months and months, and we are dangerously close to releasing this thing for open consumption, and I haven't quite figured out yet how I really want to promote it. In fact, I'm not even giving you the URL today, am I? I just really want to let you know where my heart was at and why I'm so compelled to do this. When I see people getting shut down all around, and I know that I have a tool that people can use regardless of their political, social affiliations, I think to myself, how am I not sharing this? How can I sit on this with a clean conscience, right? If someone were to sign up for my premium package, and just think about this, from what I told you, that premium package, I have a done for you package. It's customizable. It can look the way you want it to look. It can match your branding, your logo, your colors, even fonts, things like that, right? You can host your challenge, and you can run as many challenges as you want through that site. I don't care. You want to add challenges? Well, add challenges, right? So you got a site that looks the way you want it to look, and it hosts your challenge. It keeps your members, right, and grows you an email list. It can also be used to create like one pagers and lead magnets and all those things that you hear in the funnel community. This website has the ability to do that, and you can set up e-commerce through there and sell product if you want. This thing's amazing. So if you decide to go with the premium package in this environment, I'm working hard not to say the name of it. If you can go through the premium package in this environment, you don't need all these other tools. Everything is in one place for you. So I can't tell you how excited I am about it. I'm popping at the seams. But I wanted to share because I'm looking at what's going on, and I just want to give people hope that there's something coming right around the corner. All right? I think that's it. You guys have a great day. I went a little longer than usual, but I wanted to share, and I hope that you find this